Welcome back, Mixers. We are live at the Grand Rapids Remodeling and New Homes Show right here at DeVos Place, opening up at noon today and running all weekend long. So if you're remodeling and you're going to hire that project out, of course you want great price. Of course you want the quality of the work to be good, but there's something else in there, and that's trust. Where do you go when you want to know if you can trust who you've hired? Well, that's the Better Business Bureau. And Phil, you are the president of the Better Business Bureau here in Western Michigan. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
So tell us about how you grade businesses, because that's really what it is, right? It's like a report card.
It is. We're a nonprofit organization, so we're not in this to make money. We're in this to give the consumer an opportunity to find out about the businesses they may want to work with.
Let's stop right there, because a lot of people nowadays really are a little cynical. Like, is somebody paying somebody to get a good... None of that is happening. You are a nonprofit, completely unbiased, so it's not like you're paid by certain companies to give them a better grade. This is the place you go for trust.
Right, and sometimes the businesses are a little frustrated with us because they do pay dues to be an accredited business to be able to use a BBB seal, but the bottom line is we always try to take an even stance representing both the consumer and the business, so there's a trustworthy transaction that takes place.
Absolutely. Now, when I'm hiring somebody, okay, I need something done, I need an extension on my home or whatever it is, I go to the Better Business Bureau, I can see their grade, but there are certain questions that 4 or 5 questions that I need to make sure that I have, that I'm asking every time.
Yeah, most of all, you want to know about how happy are customers who've been working with them. So at bbb.org, you can find out both customer opinions as well as any complaints, and you can see the details of what happened in those transactions, which really helps to provide some transparency. You also want to get quotes just on the cost of the job. Are they licensed?
Okay.
Are they insured? And they should be plenty willing to give you evidence of all of those things. And so bbb.org is just part of the findings you ought to do to determine who you want to work with. And we always recommend getting 2 or 3 quotes because you learn so much in that process. And we have this thing called eQuote that allows you to get 1 or more quotes from BBB accredited businesses, so it's pretty easy stuff.
And you can do it through your website.
You can go right on there and ask for it, and they'll say, do you want it just from this business that you're looking up, or would you like to get it from a few different businesses? Then they contact you back and say, when can we set an appointment, or what do you want to know, that kind of thing.
Okay, and when it comes to being licensed and insured, these are very important things, right?
Yes.
Are there certain jobs where you need to make doubly sure that they're licensed?
Yeah, basically anything where they're really going to change what your house is constructed like, or the grounds around it are constructed like, you're going to need a license.
Okay.
So, excavation out, you got to have that.
Yeah, right.
Siding, you have to have that.
Oh, wow.
Roofers, you have to have a license. And we check on those things, and quite often we end up feeling like the enforcement arm for the state of Michigan because we find businesses that are not, and then we try to walk with them to help them get licensed so they're meeting that standard.
And that is something that maybe a viewer watching right now didn't know, is that there are businesses out there that aren't licensed, that aren't insured. They are out there.
Literally thousands of them.
Okay, so you want to make sure that you're getting that.
You do, because if something goes wrong, you don't have much to fall back on if they are not properly insured, properly licensed.
And when it comes to jobs, what about something as simple as replacement windows? Is that something you want to make sure the licensed and insured and all those things?
You do, and so much can go wrong with a replacement window. If it doesn't fit exactly right, you might have leaks, you might have all kinds of problems. So it's essential that happens.
And swimming pools, you're thinking about adding a pool. It's hard to think about with the weather we have outside now, but now's the time to be thinking about that addition to your home.
Yeah, they're probably the busiest time of year for a lot of those businesses where the work takes place in the spring or the summer is right now, because that's when people are looking at shows like this, so they can find who they want to work with and get that on the schedule to get it done when they want to get it done.
All right, so walk me through the process. I go to bbb.org.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
And then you can just put a search in for either the type of business you want to look for or a specific business to check them out. You type that in, and chances are good a report will come up, because we have over 40,000 records that are effective and accurate about the businesses in this service area. And then you can at least get a background of, do we have a history of complaints? What kind of customer complaints have there been? What kind of reviews have there been? Is their grade an A+ or an A? Because if you haven't been in business for a little while, you can't have an A+. So if it's a fairly new business, the best you can have is an A-. And so don't necessarily think an A- is not good. It might be very good, it's just that they're a fairly new business.
Okay, excellent. And you, as you mentioned, can get quotes through the BBB's website. You don't have to get the quotes from the individual businesses. You can kind of one-stop shopping.
You can. And we're just part of that process. The business will reach out to you and try to claim that lead that you've put in there. And then it's up to you to work it out with them and see how comfortable do you feel with them. And if you get 2 or 3 of those, what kind of pricing? Is the material the same? What do you learn from one that you want to ask the next one? Pretty valuable information.
Absolutely can help you make the right decision. But again, the key factor here is when you come to a show like this, if you're considering remodeling or getting that new home built, trust is the biggest factor. Can you trust the people who are putting, it's one of the largest investments that you're ever going to make is your home.
Yeah,
so you want to make sure that you're trusting the right people.
Absolutely, and a lot of times they're going to be in your house when you can't be watching them all the time. You want to make sure it's somebody that you really trust working on your house.
So the first stop is to go to the Better Business Bureau right here in Western Michigan.
Yes.
BBB.org is the place to go. Phil, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, appreciate it.